X1.
Hello everybody, Reaper X1 here, back in Terra 0.6. This time I'm in the R&D, gonna try out one of my old multi-techs that I built. That little guy is something I built to get far away from all the dispensers real quick. But this is what I call a 2-track mine. It's meant to be an elevated monorail type setup with the option to split off into separate tracks. This here is the elevator car, and I'm about to show you how this thing all goes together. I was hoping that SCU would have worked right off the hop, but not so lucky. Something just being weird on me. Well, since that failed, let's get actual tearing stuff apart to get this put back together. So of course gotta blow this front door open, or so it seems. A little bit of construction and reconstruction and deconstruction is needed for this kind of thing, but not too much. Tried to keep it as minimal as possible. I don't want to have to rebuild 100 or reset 100 or so blocks every time I want to set this up. I think I got her knocked down to about 20. For some reason, attachment points were showing up real slow on some of these to add the blocks. Mostly for the flat armor panels. They seem to take the longest. But even the half blocks, they were pretty slow to what I thought it should have been. The rest of the game was running fairly smooth. But now if you notice right here how I'm building this ramp up, I know most people might think that I'm just wasting time on making it look good, but to tell you the truth, I'm not. That setup there will allow my tech to drive up it with no problem. You'll see a little later. And now if I just drive, get around that, I'll be doing great. So there's a little trick with this one. I got it built pretty tight. So you kind of got to line up and then just gun it forward and shoot. That way the front picks up and it lets the back end slide on. As you can see, those blocks down there, it would have been real nice to have that SCU down there waiting to pick them up, but try that later. This is the second turntable, or the first turntable to go in, but just recently upgraded and modified to make the whole process easier. You can see it's not quite the simplest thing to get in place. Just from the behavior of the blocks acting together, it kind of needs to be made this way. A little farting around, it works out pretty nice and functions. So as you can see, I think you can see it's not really the clearest on the little preview I'm watching right now, but that turntable basically drives on cabs, seeing as they are the best. That there, you don't even have to steer to go around that corner, it guides itself, keeps it kind of nice. But knowing what I'm planning on doing with this little demonstration, I should probably put in the second turntable. I was really hoping to be able to set it all up, have it working decent, being able to switch text still, and I was also hoping to have a couple extra lengths of track on those offshoots. So only time would let me know the answer if that was going to happen, and unfortunately having text on top of text seems to cause lag for some reasons. certain situations. Because so far I got two techs sitting on top of each other and not really any problems. Can still switch techs, stuff like that. But I think with the addition of this and the blocks laying loose on the ground, that's about when it stops. So, and I'm not allowed, or not able, I guess is a better word, to switch between techs, which makes everything not possible with this setup. So I can't just switch a cab to another tech to get into that tech when there's, well, that looks like 20 cabs on that little turntable alone. But anyway, I figure I'll try and set it up so it at least looks the way it's kind of supposed to be. That way you guys got a good idea what I'm really aiming for here. Yeah, can't switch. So what I was going to do is start a second part and get back to it if I can figure maybe the better way of bringing each tech in, because that might even play a bit of a difference. Maybe I'll leave one or so out until I get to where I want to be. And so yeah, I'm moving the shop around there because it won't open anymore. Not sure why. I just figured I was a little frustrated. I'll just knock the whole sucker down. Then remembering something from the forums about the undo button being a little iffy, I figured I'd give it a test here. And as you can see, it took a little bit. Wasn't really the fastest thing to activate, but it did work. Kinda wish it'd bring those other techs back into position as well, but can't ask for too much. So this little guy here, he's going, looks like it lands right on top. That's just neat. But he's what's actually going to travel up in the elevator. This guy I used on my other go-kart type track. And yep, finally got the SCU in, so I can start cleaning up a little bit. Could have probably just restarted the R&D, but this is something different to do too. You can also do that in the main game by ordering it, but this is where I was telling you about my little guy driving the ramp. That's a pretty much normal speed. I didn't speed that part up, I actually edited it back to normal, or as close to normal as I could. A little more cleaning up here, and in hopes to maybe let everything run nicer, less lag, more response. Maybe still being able to switch text when everything's on the go. Now this took a little longer than I thought it was. This is sped up too, this part. Yeah, for some reason all those individual cabs didn't want to get picked up. Probably the ones I touched to take it apart. That's my guess anyway. So yeah, I got the basis of it, so I figured I'd just try her out, make sure this part's still functioning. The only downside is you kind of got to hold back and up and shift at the same time just so you don't get hung up. But this method seems to be about the best, for the little elevators anyway, that I've tried. This is my first attempt at, or first real attempt at making this kind of a setup. I think it worked out pretty good. There is a lot of improvements that could be made if I really thought about it. I actually have plans on a lower one to the ground, not touching the top build limits and stuff. That might reduce some problems with switching text and lag. As you can see, you can get it all lined up, use the gates so your little guy don't just drive off, because he is full of AI. I think he's got 3 or 4 AI cabs on it and 1 normal cab. But this is basically how the turntables are meant to be function. There is stoppers needed so the guy doesn't jiggle off or fall off or whatever. Then this setup here allows you to have 2 extra offshoots that come off your circle there. This is like your train station idea, I guess. You can switch out the cars and however you need to. Now if everything goes well, I'm hoping to have more than just one car on this train. But the problem with that being is that it would have to be only a certain way that things could travel, and with very limited margin of error, because when you get to those turntables, things get a little messed up if they're not right. How do you like this balancing act? Tried to drive off the edge to get down to the bottom, and got hung up like that. This was just kind of for some fun. Things started proving that they were just not gonna work as nice as I had hoped, but I just kind of wanted to see how this would look as it sped through the cleanup process, as long as it didn't knock that SCU off its anchor. Even with the video sped up, it did take a little while. So as this was cleaning up and everything, I figured, oh, just kind of let it work, see how it does function. So I read in the forums that it seems to follow specific directions when it's taking in blocks, say like north to east, to south to west, you know, kind of like the compass idea, or maybe the most northerly blocks they meant. But for me it seems to be kind of pulling from both sides. I'm not sure if that was north or not. I forgot to put a radar on it. But I just thought it was kind of interesting to see how long it could take to clean all that up. As it gets down there, it starts moving pretty good, really. So then as it got more and more cleaned up, I figured, oh, let's just wait and see what the radius is. Well, have a good one, everybody. Till next time. Bye.